has this got to do with motor cars? And what the bloody hell is this to do with motor cars? Well, all those things have got everything to do with the Paris Motor Show. And believe it or not, there are a few cars here too. People who have stolen the show, arguably, are Citroen, one of the big three French manufacturers, and they've done it with a family of cars, really, and that family is called the Berlingo. There's a sort of city car, there's a van that's coming to Britain, there's a people carrier that potentially is coming to Britain, and there's this thing here, which is a sort of pickup, come beach buggy, call it what you will. And the man that we should blame for the design of this and the rest of the vehicles in the Berlingo range is Art, who's sitting next to me now. Tell us what was on your mind when you and the guys at the studio in Paris came up with this lot.
Quite simply, we were at a point in time where we'd like to demonstrate to our own management different concepts that could come off a base floor plan, which is the Berlingo, which you know is a commercial vehicle which has a flat floor. And we wanted to demonstrate that you could make a lot of fun vehicles off of this sort of a platform. And
not very realistic, is it? We're never going to see anything like this in the showroom, are we?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, if you look at the yellow vehicle to your right, that will be in the showroom. And it's a continuation. These two particular cars are concept cars. But if you look at them carefully, they have the sheet metal as an example of the front end of the Berlingo. They have the windscreen, they have the instrument panel, they have the floor plan. So consequently, you're very close.
Now, it seems to me that there's a bit of a contradiction going on here. There's Citroen saying that what we're trying to do is build wacky, exciting looking cars. That's exactly what Citroen had a reputation for. Witness cars like the Citroen 2CV, for example. You moved away from that, you went more mainstream, you started producing Euro boxes, and now you're going back to the wackier designs.
Well, we wouldn't exactly...
Sorry, I didn't mean it as in such a derogatory way, but you know what I mean.
No, we're not going back to wacky designs. I think if you look at the Boule, it's a car that even when we photographed it in Paris on the Champs-Élysées, early in the morning, the police would come up, the public, everybody would stop. As a matter of fact, the police almost arrested us. But by the end of it, the police were in the car, and everybody walked away with a smile. It's a happy car, a car that gives a feeling of security and happiness. And if you look at the car, it's actually shaped like an egg. The exterior color is the color of an egg.
Go to work in an egg?
Absolutely. The most effective for strength is an egg-shaped vehicle. If you look on the inside of the vehicle, the seats are like the yolk of an egg. They're round, they're yellow. So we tried to play through, it's a concept car, but on the shape of an egg, both interior and exterior, you have a continuity of design.
Well, here we are. The High Tack Award of the Paris Motor Show goes first to Lada's Bigfoot Neva four-wheel drive vehicle, but also to the musicians on stage here. I don't know where these guys are from, but we got old Tophole here on violin and Eric Clapton on guitar, and we got Sting on bass, and I think that's Russ Conway playing the squeeze box. Go on, boys, go for it. I thank you all. With me now at the Paris Motor Show is Mark Payton, editor of What Car magazine, and one of your personal favourites at the show, Mark, I know, is the new Peugeot Coupe. Talk us through it and tell us what you particularly like about it.
Yeah, well, everybody at the show is talking about Ford car, Ford Mondeo. It seems to be Ford. I think quietly this thing has stolen the show. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it'll be on sale next summer with a 3-litre V6 packed in it. And to be honest with you, it's a real sort of poor man's Ferrari if you look at the lines of the thing. I think they'll absolutely wipe the coupe market out with it.
Styling by Pininfarina, of course, so that's where the Italian flair has come into it. But I mean, it is staggeringly good looking, isn't it? And it's come at a time when Nissan are claiming, at least, that the new Primera, the very, very boring looking, it has to be said, new Primera, is beating the 406 in terms of handling and ride and driver appeal. Do you think this is the car that might claw it back for Peugeot?
Yeah, well, you see, I mean, the first thing is I would agree with you. The Primera is not a great looking car. 406 has always had good lines. I think this is the car that will take the market back for them. It's an incredible looking thing. The curious thing will be they're not talking about pricing yet, but I think they may even try and go for a premium with this thing because people will just get in the showroom and spend money whatever.
What else is going to compete with this in the UK market when it eventually arrives about 9 months from now, I guess?
Yeah, I think I was curious. I was looking at Volvo C70 earlier on. Now, I gather they are going to be putting the pricing for that way up, but it is a car with roughly the same sort of impact and flair.
It seems to be that car manufacturers are getting away from these boring Euro boxes or Japanese boxes and actually bringing back cars that actually look the part. Do you remember the days when we used to all struggle to tell one car from another? This is very definitely a Peugeot, that's very definitely a Volvo, and so on.
I think there's definitely a reason for that, though. I think what's happened is that the manufacturers have realised that they've all got to a certain level. One car is now more or less much like another to drive, and I think the way that they've begun to define their markets and get customers back is by making them look different again. I think it's got to be a good thing. I mean, I was sick and tired of the whole of the 70s and 80s when every other box looked like every other box, and it's great to be at a show where there's some really remarkable looking things.